Hello, the time right now is 3:57 p.m. and it is August 25th. So, what I had to really talk about right now in my video journal is just the fact that after all of their fully fabricated false testimonies and everything are done, the next thing that they have and are trying to going to use is that I'm bound to return to an environment where anything you remotely considered bad was said around me as a child. But before we get on to this topic, the first thing that I have to make clear is the fact that someone like Sana Shamim, you have to understand that Sana Shamim, so every single person in this trial has been found to be either a criminal like Kashif Rosvi, who was fully hell bent on framing me for a crime where it was in the last phase of the planning fraud process. What they all they had to do was go tell Kelly what the fabrication material is that she had to whisper into Junaid's ears after sleeping with him. This was the very last phase of the planning process that Kashif Rosary was up to with his mistress, Miss Hopkins, to help her, Miss Hopkins, get revenge for me not going with her for a marriage after my brain savant would get freed. We know this for a fact, and but the plan is foiled mainly due to the fact that right now Junaid is getting rejected by Miss Deb, who is saying things like, "I'm your mother's age. You should have some shame." Due to which, and Junaid is trying to force himself onto her in a way, thinking that she's not going to call the police or file a sexual harassment claim against him because she's his mother's age. But she's saying things along the lines of, "I'm your mother's age. You should have some shame." Due to which, world leaders are already looking really humiliated and embarrassed right now. Yes, very embarrassed, very badly embarrassed, by the way. Basically, the first thing that I had to say is that everyone in this trial has been found to be a criminal, fabricator, a liar, working for one reason or another. Kashif Rosvi, obviously envy and lust for sex, due to which he's sending me ads for me to help him trade girls as his mistresses all day, night long. He's sending me these ads. Okay. You also, so it is due to the envy and lust for sex, along with to help his mistress, Miss Hopkins, get revenge. The facts and evidences will clearly prove that this fabricated false testimony that Kashif Rosvi was about to use against me was fully fabricated by Miss Hopkins and people in law enforcement that were under investigation for the wedding crime, due to which they all got caught. And they were on the very last planning phase process where all they had to do was get Kelly to go whisper into Junaid's ears exactly what the fabrication material would be, so that he could claim that my sister said to him that I committed some sort of a crime at one time that I covered over or something of that sort of nature. So then Akasha Ferozvi would be quoting that over and over again as a narrator in this trial that Miss Hopkins fully worked on herself to get revenge from me as a teacher, not getting her student to basically go with her, trying to get revenge from me. A very disgusting individual is what Miss Hopkins is. Yes, so basically, the problem with Kashif Ferozvi's plan was just the fact that he didn't have a source. So if I say my neighbor is a bad person, he's a criminal, well, police are going to say, "What's your source? How do you know this? Who told you this?" I'll be like, "He committed a crime at one time." The police are going to be like, "How do you know this? Who told you this?" And then I would need that neighbor's person, like his sister, like my sister, to be have her husband claim this, but her husband, like Junaid, would have to have the fabrication material whispered into his ears, telling him that this is what my sister told him, that I committed a crime that I covered over, which is what they were basically planning on doing before their entire plan was completely foiled. So basically, there's no source, is what the problem with Kashif Ferozvi was. Now, with Sana Shamim, it is the exact same problem. Sana Shamim, there's no record of me meeting her, due to which she can't be a witness and be like, "Asad is a bad person because I saw him doing this." The other problem is she can't say that she has another source of info on me, say, telling her that I was a bad person or committed a crime or attempted to do or anything of that sort of nature, conspired to, or anything of that sort of nature. She cannot claim a source either. Her source obviously cannot be someone like Sohaib, since Sohaib is a criminal who committed the wedding crime. The wedding crime, by the way, is a heinous crime. The government is going after everyone in law enforcement right now to try to investigate the wedding crime because of how heinous it was. They're not going to let anyone go, whether it's Sohaib and Assad. And Assad has also confessed in court that he knew that the wedding crime people were basically not good people, only to try to pin their names on me. Even though me being watched 24/7, there's absolutely zero evidence of any bad people committing any crimes around me, which means that Assad was committing crimes with like the wedding crime with people he knew were not good people, and then after committing it, the person like Uncle Joey that he would commit it with, let's say, she would tell him everything all day, night long through his ears. So he knew from before that these were not the best people, and then he knew what the crime was he was committing, and then afterwards he knew what it was that was just the crime that he just committed. Everything he knew from the start to finish. So thankfully, Assad did tell that to the courts. But the fact of the matter is, the problem with Kashif Ferozvi's plan is this, of trying to frame me is the same problem that Sana Shamim has. She has no source. She can't claim that someone like Sohaib would be her source, since Sohaib is a criminal. He committed the wedding crime, and afterwards he was with the people who committed the wedding crime throughout the entire wedding, and he was with them, waiting for them outside their rooms while they would even take a piss or do anything of that sort of nature. Is how close Sohaib was with the people who committed the wedding crime. The problem with Sana Shamim is she's never witnessed me commit any crimes. There's no record of me even meeting her throughout my entire life. There's also she can't claim that there's a source that told her that I was a bad person either, since there's no source that told her anything about me being a bad person. She can't even claim this in a closed room or environment whatsoever. So basically, Sana Shamim is the same as if law enforcement went to a person outside walking down the road who has no sources of info against me or has witnessed me commit any crimes, and law enforcement just tells this person, this is what you have to say in court against Hassan. It's the exact same thing. The person walking outside on the road is not going to be a witness to me being a bad person. He's also not going to be having a source that told him that I was a bad person due to XYZ reason. Now, the law enforcement that would tell Sana Shamim this, you have to understand the fact that law enforcement, that this law enforcement is basically been fabricating lies against me over and over and over and over again. They were the same people who were basically about to fabricate a lie against me right now with Kashif Ferozvi that got foiled at the very last second. They needed the last part, which was the source of info, and the source of info was supposed to be provided through Kelly going and providing it to Junaid by sleeping with him and whispering into his ears. But considering the fact that Junaid is getting rejected by Miss Deb every single day, and he's begging her and she's telling him he's very shameless, due to which for going and trying to force himself on someone his mother's age every single day. We know for a fact that Junaid has not slept with Kelly or anyone at all, not even someone his mother's age or even his grandma's age. So we know that for a fact that their plan is completely foiled. Even today, Junaid can't come out and be like, I have just an epiphany. I think of my Hassan's sister one time said that Hassan committed a crime or anything of that sort of nature. So yes, so problem with Sana Shamim is the fact that she doesn't have a source of info. She's literally like the same person outside who would be told by law enforcement exactly what to say, and that person would literally say it because law enforcement will tell them to say it. That person's not going to have a source of info that claiming that this person told me this about Hassan, nor is that person going to be a witnessing eyewitness Hassan commit this crime or anything of that sort of nature. That Sana Shamim is like the person walking outside on the road whom law enforcement tells exactly what to say, and Sana Shamim just comes to court and says it out of her extreme anger, envy, and hatred against me, and that's it. She has no source. She's not a witness. She's just told by law enforcement that's been fabricating lies against me over and over again. You got to remember, wedding crime was fully pinned on me in after August 25th, 2023, despite me not having anything to do with it. Law enforcement confessed themselves mid-January 2026. A 10-year-old child claiming 25 years later that I said anti-government things to him 25 years ago, fully fabricated by law enforcement themselves. They were fully caught. The group chat they got from overseas with the person in pharmacy school overseas was fully fabricated by law enforcement and the person in law enforcement who gets the monthly money every month. So these are just some of the lies. Then you also have November 20th, 2025. Law enforcement was fully aware that it was being fabricated against me. But even when I was going to Russia in early November, they fully fabricated that false testimony against me. These same people in law enforcement who fabricated numerous false testimonies against me literally went to Sana Shamim, who is not a witness to me committing any crimes, nor does she have any sources of info telling her that I'm a criminal in any way, shape, or form. That person, Sana Shamim, is spoon-fed all this lies against me from law enforcement, who basically is a fabricator, are fabricators and liars who have been filled with nothing but false testimonies, lies against me, only to inhibit me from being able to use my Brain Savant. My Brain Savant, by the way, I still haven't gotten 30-minute Brain Savant test for yet, and they've been arguing against it all day, night long. Something is so ridiculous as a 30-minute test would prove to them how much of a nothing burger I am. After that 30-minute test, they do not have to argue anymore. They can laugh at me after 30 minutes. Literally put their jokes on my TV home screen all day long, laugh at me, honk their horns outside my window, and laugh at me over there, put it all the way up, turn it up of a person laughing in their car really, really loud, laugh at me outside, put laughter on my TV home screen, laugh at me from outside this apartment, okay? They can laugh at me all they want, no argument required, none of this 50,000 miles away, Adamji is claiming from a fifth person overseas, claiming all these lies against me on August the 7th, like all this hard effort of lying and exaggerating lying or fabricating lies against me to make me look like I'm dumb, stupid, low IQ, bad exam taker, what they were trying to do on August the 7th, 2026. 30 minutes. That's it. After that, all the laughter is yours. Jokes are all on me. Okay, you win, I lose, everything. But they're not going to do that because they know they're lying and I'm telling the truth. Okay, so yes, that's all I had to say about Sana Shamim in this video.